Hey everyone, I hope you had a great weekend. Today we're going to be really working on trying to finish up a lot of the work before you get this next packet. So our first thing is going to finish up chapters 1 through 5. So today you're going to be reading chapter 5, and then you can go back and take a look and you can grade all of your work if you haven't already. So I'm going to go over each one of these. I made a Google slideshow to go through all of these pages so you can grade it and check it. And then at the end, there's one final question that you can either write on a piece of paper or you can use Google Docs for. So let's take a look. Number 1. She thrashed around in her sleep. Number 2, they found the submarine by using sonar. Washing your hands can help with the danger of infection. He was tinkering in the garage. The stench of rotten fruit was horrible. Billy was wounded after falling off his bike. The soldiers waved to civilians as they walked in the parade. So what I did was I set each one of these word text boxes, I typed the answer, and then I clicked and I inserted a animation to it. So when you make a slideshow, you can go ahead and create animations by clicking at it and just inserting an animation. Why is Kyle leaving Florida for a year? Now I'm going to answer this in a complete sentence. Kyle was leaving Florida because he was joining the Army. What character trait best describes Kyle's character so far? Hardworking. What did the author mean when she wrote, Kyle is the only one who has gotten Sawyer to come out of his shell? Sawyer feels more comfortable around Kyle than anyone else. What did Kyle ask Sawyer to promise him? Kyle asked Sawyer to promise him that he wouldn't spend all of his time in the garage and that he would go out and make some friends. What do you think that Kyle meant when he told Sawyer that he can take his workshop wherever he goes? Include details from the story to support your response. Kyle gave Sawyer a pocket knife. The pocket knife included at least 3 different blades, a screwdriver, and even a small scissors. The pocket knife is a tool that he can take anywhere. So I found that answer and that proof on page 8, so I put page 8. Read each clue, then write the vocabulary word that best fits the clue. Number 1, diseased, infection. Number 2, repaired, tinkering. Number 3, to not belong to a group, civilians. Number 4, to locate objects underwater, sonar. Number 5, injured or hurt, wounded. Horrible smell, stench. Toss about, thrashed. Describe how the dolphin looked when Sawyer found it. Use the book to tell the exact details. The wire from the crab's trap's wire cage was pinned tightly around the dolphin's tail. A rope extending from the trap was wrapped around the dolphin's body and through its mouth. I found that on pages 10 and 11. So remember, you want to put the page numbers that you find the proof, and you also want to make sure you're answering these questions in complete sentences. What tool did Sawyer use to try to free the dolphin? Sawyer used the pocket knife from his cousin Kyle to try and free the dolphin, page 11. What sound did the dolphin make when she heard Sawyer's voice? The dolphin made a trilling sound when she heard Sawyer's voice. I think she made this noise because she has made a connection with Sawyer and can recognize that he is there. So I answered the next question, which was, why does she do this? We don't know for sure, but that is and that's why I put I think. So I made an inference based on what I already read in the story. Where is the dolphin being taken? The dolphin is being taken to the Clearwater Marine Hospital, page 14. Choose the best antonym, which means the opposite meaning, for each word. So I made sure I focused and circled antonym so I would answer the question correctly. Number 1, tinkering. The antonym is break. Thrashed. So you're moving around a lot. If you're doing the opposite, you would be unmoving. Wounded, I know means injured, so the opposite would mean safe. Civilians, an ordinary citizen, so I would say that a civilian, the opposite of that would be a soldier. Sonar, which could mean to find, detect, locate, while the only opposite one there would be blind. Infection. The opposite would be healthy. All the other ones seem to be synonyms. Number 1, the last one is stench. Smelly, sounds like that's a synonym. So an antonym for stench probably would be floral, because it smells like flowers, or flowers being smelling good. Why was Sawyer having a hard time paying attention in class? He was worried about the dolphin he had helped save. What did Hazel name the injured or hurt dolphin? Why did she give the dolphin that name? Hazel named the injured dolphin Winter. She named her Winter because dolphins named Summer and Autumn were at the Marine Hospital, and they got healthy and were released back in the ocean. Page 19. There's Mrs. Gurn. She's picking up Lacey, who wants to go on the bed. As Sawyer was researching dolphins, what did he learn? All of the above. So all of the things there he had learned when he researched. Why does Clay allow Sawyer to stay while he and Phoebe are working with Winter? Winter responds to the sound of Sawyer's voice, so Clay thinks that Sawyer could be of help. Describe how Sawyer meeting Winter is changing him. Include evidence from the text to support your answer. Well, we're going to revisit this question at the end of the packet, because Chapter 5 we're going to be doing a more lengthy extended response. Complete each sentence starter using a vocabulary word provided. Be sure to use context clues. So I have the word tinkering. The mechanic was tinkering with the engine to try to get it to go faster. So he's in his garage, he's messing around with the engine, experimenting to see what he could do to make it go faster. Thrashed. The fish thrashed on the bottom of the boat when the boy dropped it. I remember when I was fishing, I did catch a fish and dropped it, and it was flopping around, thrashing around on the bottom of the boat. Wounded. The tree wounded the boy because he ran into it. When I was younger, I was looking one way, and then I ran another way directly into a tree and was wounded. Soldiers. Soldiers make sure that the civilians are safe. So we would be the civilians, and the soldiers would be making sure that we were safe. Sonar. Whales and dolphins use sonar to find their food. Infection. Hand washing will stop the spread of infection. It can really help stop it from happening because a lot of dirt would go in there. So by washing your hands, you could stop that spread. The pig, and the word stench, the pig pen had a terrible stench coming from it. Why did Sawyer ride his bike right past the school? Sawyer rode his bike right past the school because he couldn't wait to see winter. Page 26. Explain what happens to the dolphin's tail. Why does the rescue team make the decision to do this? The rescue team made the decision to cut off Winter's tail because it was infected. The infection had spread too far and she wouldn't have survived. Page 27. Why is the dolphin's tail so important to its survival? Think about what this tail does for the dolphin. Dolphins need their tail to swim. They need to swim to get their food and oxygen. Why does Clay ask Sawyer if he could swim? What does Sawyer get Winter to do? Clay asked Sawyer if he could swim because he wanted him to hold Winter. Clay knows that Winter likes Sawyer because of the trilling sound she makes. Sawyer was also able to feed Winter from the bottle when no one else could. Pages 31 through 32 and 35 and 36. Okay, so for our last one, this is an extended response. You can either use a piece of paper, notebook paper, or you can go on to Google Docs and write your response like we did in the classroom. And when you're done, you could share it with me. Fill in the graphic organizer about Sawyer. Then use this graphic organizer to answer the following extended response. How has Sawyer's character changed? And I highlighted that because that's the main question from chapters 1 and 2 to chapters 3 and 5. What was the most important change in Sawyer? What caused Sawyer to change? So to make this easier, I helped by creating a little bit of a graphic organizer for you, just like we did in class, just like you could do on your own. So I put something down here to help you with this. So number 1, restate. So you're restating the question. Sawyer's character changed, blah, blah, blah. Number 2, first, didn't like to learn, then he what? So what you need to do is think about, okay, so in the beginning of the story, he was one way, and then at the end of chapter 5, he was another. Then he had no friends. Now, number 4, I feel like blank was the most important change because blank. All of this was caused by blank. So if you use that and you create your own little notes, you can answer one of these complicated questions a little bit easier. So that is all for the reading. I hope you guys were able to check it and finish all of it. And we get to start chapter 6 tomorrow. I'll talk to you later.